Hello everybody, just continuing on with some algebra with some negative numbers about what happens when you put them on top of other numbers, whether they be, well, they're mainly positive at the moment, but there are sometimes you're putting negative on negative. Anyways, let's continue. So at the start, I've just filled in the answers for plenty of these. They should be fairly straightforward. Just trying to think of when it says something like add -2, that means you're taking it away. You're subtracting 2. So just be aware of those patterns. That anytime you add a positive number, the number goes up. Anytime you add a negative number, you're actually going down. It's like adding a debt to somebody, adding an amount that they owe to you. Anyways, so it should be fairly straightforward. For number 2, it doesn't actually matter which order you put them in, as long as you've got the correct sign. So for example, -3 plus 6, it could mean that you're adding -3 to 6, or it could be that you're adding 6 to -3. Either way, it's the same. You just have to make sure that you've got the sign correct. If you've got a positive and a negative next to each other like this, that means a negative. Okay? That means a negative. All right, working our way down. We've got our diagrams here. Just got to make sure that you've got +4 and -4, because you've got one that starts with a -4, one that starts with a +4. They're all obviously going down. They're all subtracting. 4 is already done as well. Just like it makes mention, if you've got positive and negative next to each other, that means a negative. Sorry if it's a bit hard to see this answer. It's going to be -15. If you've got -13 and -2 from that, it will be 2 down from -13, -15. All right, let's actually calculate some answers. So 3 plus -1, which means we're taking 1 away from 3, will be 2 plus 2 equals 4. Hopefully my pen works. 4. Okay, 2 plus -3 will be -1, plus 1 will be 0. -4. So when I look at these, I'm just thinking of it as it's minusing 2. So -4, take 2 is -6, and minus another one will be -7. This is -10 from 3, which will be -7, plus 6 will be -1. This is taking away 17 from what is already -13, so that'll be -30. Take away another 3 will be -33. Here we're taking away 2 from 7, which will be 5 plus 4 is 9. Here we are taking away 3 from 1, -1 will be -4, and we're taking away another -4 to make it -8. Here we are taking away 3 from -6 to make -9, taking away another -1, which will be -10. Here we are adding 2 to -15, which will be -13, but then we are taking away 4 to make it -17. Find the missing number. So what do we need to do to get to these numbers? Because we're starting at 2 and we end at -1, that means we're going in the negative direction. So we really have to add -3. 2 to take away the 2, and then another one to get it from 0 to -1. Here we have to take away 3 to get 1. So it's like adding 3 to 1, which is 4. Here again we're taking away 3, so it's just like adding 3 to the 2, will be 5. Here, to go from -5 to -7, we must be going down. We're going down by 2. Here, we've gone down quite a lot. With practice, these will seem fairly straightforward. With practice. Hopefully that means that I don't muck any of these up. 5 take 6 is 1. -10 take 2 be -12. -2 take 4 will be -6. This will be the number 4. Take 4 will be 0. -2 take 1 will be -3. And last one, that'll be minus 14. All right. If a person has $120 of debt, so that really they're minus 120, and you add $70 debt, then what you're really doing is going minus 120, adding minus 70, which those two will equal a minus. So it's 120 minus a further 170 equals minus 190. They will now owe $190. Here's our profit graph. First half of the year, what's the profit for February? February being F is 8 and 8,000. $8,000 is the profit for February. What about April? There's April, and we are minus $6,000. Bad times in April. What's the overall profit for the first 6 months? So up 2 plus another 8, that's up 10, plus another 4, that's up 14, plus another 2, that's up 16. But we lose 6, we lose 8, we lose 14. So up 16. If you're up 16 but down 14, that will end up meaning that you're up 2 in total. So we are overall profit is $2,000. Okay, if 10 is a positive number and B is a negative number, are the following true or false? Hint, try some values for A and B. So what I want to do, I want to try a positive number that's only slightly positive. So plus 1. And then I'm going to use a negative number that's slightly bigger than that. So negative 2. And then I'm going to use it with a big positive number. Let's see if it makes a difference. A plus B is always positive. If I did 1 plus negative 2, that would end up giving me a negative number. But if I used 100 instead, I wouldn't always get the positive number. So A and B is always positive, that's false. It's not always going to be the case. Now it says B plus A is always negative. Now B plus A is going to be the exact same thing. If I had minus 2 plus minus 1, minus 2 plus 1, I would get this. And if I had minus 2 plus 100, I'd get this. So sometimes it's going to be negative, sometimes it's going to be positive. It just depends what numbers you've got. What's of larger magnitude? This number is more in the minus direction than the positive, but that number is not as far in the magnitude of the minus direction as this much bigger positive number. So it just depends what numbers you're going to use. Okay, if A is a negative number and B is a negative number, are the following true or false? So I'm going to use minus 2 and minus 3 as my numbers. A plus B, if I add these two together, it's going to be the same as subtracting. That's going to give me minus 5. So that means it will be always negative. And doesn't matter which order you do it in, it's still going to be exactly the same. So always positive? No, it should never be positive. And always negative? Yes, always be negative. So despite my messy writing, false for the first one, true for the second. Now last one, magic squares. Hopefully we've seen these before. Normally if you already get given 3 in a row, it should be fairly easy to solve it. This time it's just involving negatives. 1 and 4 is 5. Take 2 will equal 3. 5 and 4 is 9. To make it equal 3, I need a minus 6 there. Minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5. To get to 3, I've got to have 8. Minus 2 from 8 is going to be 6. To get it to 3, I'll need a minus 3. Minus 3 and 4 is going to be 1. That means I need to add 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So to get it to go minus 3, you would need 0. And that should all work. For the next one, minus 6 and minus 17 is minus 23. Plus 7 will make it minus 16. Minus 3 and minus 17 is minus 20. To get to minus 16, you're going to have to add 4. Minus 6 and 4 will be minus 2. To get that to go to minus 16, you're going to have to minus 12 from that. Minus 12 and minus 3 is minus 15. We need to subtract another 1 from there. Minus 1 and minus 6 is minus 7. To get to minus 16, we're going to have to minus a further 9. Minus 9 and 4 is minus 5. We need to go down by another 11 to get to 16. And this is minus 23 and 7, which will be minus 16. So there we go. That's all done. If you've got any questions about these, please leave it in the comments below.